Hello everyone, if you can hear me, go ahead and locate the chat and say hello. Um, yeah, we have a chat and we got a Q&A everyone could use as they are hopping in. Make sure when you're using chat, um, make sure when using chat that you're addressed to panelists or to all attendees if you want everyone to see your messages. Be aware that a lot of people can see messages unless you switch it to panelist only. So today we are doing pixel art animation for this webinar. It's only 30 minutes. You do not have to follow along for every single thing, but it is nice to practice a little with me. So we're going to be going to a website soon, but first, before we really get started here, my name is Ruth. I'm a community learning specialist from DoSpace. I specialize usually with teens and older elementary kids. I really like, playing the video games, and I like parrots. Again, if you are just joining us, go ahead and locate chat, say hello, and why you're interested in this. So if you don't know what a pixel is or pixel art is, just starting from the very basics, a pixel is a dot on your screen. It used to be in the older days that computer monitors had thousands of little tiny light bulbs on them. They're now kind of built a little bit differently, but still same concept, where each little dot on the screen is still just a little tiny light bulb. And as we went over time, we got more and more of those little tiny light bulbs, and they turn into much clearer pictures, but much older days, back when we didn't really have a little cursor on the computers. We had like just text on the screen we would just type in. A lot of those were also built with pixels. So with pixel art, technically almost everything is pixel art. But yeah, technically everything's pixel art, but for this course of pixel art, it's actually just picture you're making art with giant light bulbs or giant squares on the screen. And this style is still used a lot in quite a few things. Like animations, like over here, we still got like the style of like squares with a nice little train moving over. Still very popular. A lot of people like it for the retro look. Pixel art originally became really popular because of older video games like Asteroids or Space Invaders, the little aliens going back and forth on the screen. There are some people like to do restrictions on pixel art where they can say, oh, you can only paint in a 32 by 32-bit space, or you can only use 8 colors like in the old games. And then there's some people who just do really detailed giant images, putting down dot by dot. Of course, these days we see like these giant poster paintings, illustrations more that, again, like I said before, technically like, it kind of is pixel art, but is it really? Because it doesn't show off each individual pixel as much as this does. If you are joining us today, welcome to our pixel art little mini workshop. You can go ahead. Oh, sorry about that. I have pets. They can get noisy. But anyways, you can locate chat and say hello to all panelists. This is a short webinar today, but I highly recommend you'll be using the website you'll see soon. But definitely recommend trying to follow along just a little bit, but you don't have to follow every single step. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so to get started here, we're going to use, I don't know, some people use like old school paint program on like Windows computers, but we're going to use a website that makes pixel art a little bit easier. I'm going to type the website link in the chat here. It's just basically pixelart.com, but as an I instead of an E at the end there. You go ahead and go there. I'm still looking through the gallery. This right here is a little example of animation you can do in little pixelart.com. So you should see a website like this right here, where you got create and share. It says pixel art, again with the I instead of the E for the second vowel in there. And right in here, you don't have to create an account. You can go ahead and, let me get my little arrows there. Hello, if you're joining us, we were just getting started here. Go ahead and locate the chat if you want to say hello. I'm trying to find my little arrows here. You can go to pixelart.com. I'll retype that again. And it looks like I accidentally sent it to my moderator here, not to everyone. I'm going to do all attendees. There you go. Now you guys can see that. You want to go to that website there, and you can go ahead and go to Start Drawing on the upper right over here. So I'm at pixelart.com, and then I click Start Drawing. Loads a little bit. And then I'm in this little drawing space here, and it has a tutorial if I want to go through that. So it's going to give me a few tips, but I'm just going to click cancel, and it'll give me this little new drawing area. A little bit earlier, I talked about how a few like pixel art communities do like limitations where you can only use 8 colors. You can only do a 32 by 32 space. You don't have to. I recommend starting with a 32 space today, just to make things a bit easier. So I'm gonna go 32 by 32. I get a little message up the box saying this cleared current drawing. I got nothing there, so don't care. And then I get this space here. If you guys have ever used any type of drawing programs anymore, like Photoshop or Paint or Corel Draw or any type of thing, you can like left click and it starts drawing pixels. You can see our pixels are enlarged here, so it makes it a lot easier to see everything. I said earlier, if anyone's missed it, that a pixel is just basically a tiny little light bulb on your screen that lights up. Of course, with modern technology, our pixels have gotten tinier and tinier, but pixel art's still popular because of video games. Trying to recreate that retro look, and a lot of times pixel art can be really pretty. Here, our pixels are just enlarged to much bigger squares, so you can see them better. But this is super zoomed in. This is not going to be the actual size at the end. But you can go ahead, start clicking, left click down, and you kind of draw on there. You can see on our left side that we have like a little toolbox. So we got a lot of them are self-explanatory, but we got a pencil, an eraser, painting, line tool, square, circle, paint bucket, eyedropper for choosing color, selection, invert, stamp, and etc. You notice right here, there's 2 little boxes that are black and white. This is how you would choose your colors. You can also go on the right side over here and pick colors through here too. But if I want to change a color that isn't on my little default color tools on the right side here, if you are using a desktop computer, your face might be covering a little bit on the bar. You can actually just left click on the camera and move it around to see more of the options of the menu on the right side. But back on the left side here, I have like little colors that I double click. I can choose different colors on this little color menu here. I just drag around. Now, unlike other paint programs, this kind of bothered me a lot. If I click off here, it doesn't change to that color. I have to like go back and choose select color in that box to get in here. I'm going to choose eraser, left click. Oh gosh, that's taken a long time. That is, I could do, something better than this. So on the right side here, there's layers, options, and tools. I'm going to click on tools. Nope, options. There it is. I always get it mixed up. But under options, I can change my little size of my brush right over here. So pixel size is 1. I'm just going to bring it up to 10. And I can see highlighting that. It's even bigger. There we go. Brush tool has like a little paint effect. I also can do Control Z or undo at the top right here at undo. But I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do something really simple here first to show for animation. I'm gonna clear drawing, I'm gonna bring my pixel back to 1 on the right side over here. I'm just gonna start with a little line over here. Not really making a picture of a sword or a ball. I will do that later. I'm gonna raise myself up. But so if you guys have ever worked with any type of art program with like layers before, this might, you know, be natural to you, but here, this program has layers. Basically, just picture you have multiple pieces of paper stacked on top of each other. They're kind of slightly see-through. And that lets you like modify things on different layers. If you want to do like, I don't know, have this like blue line here, and then I'm gonna go create a layer on the right side right here. There's add layer, and I go purple right here, draws on top. But if I turn off the eye in that layer, it gets rid of that purple and make it visible again. So with animation, we don't need to have a lot of layers, but some animations start with layer by layer technique. So to start animation, basically we're drawing different images where each image is slightly different from the previous one. So if you're just joining us today, I'm gonna relink the link website we're using again, pixelart.com, if you want to try that out. Okay. Now we're going to get to the animation now, the fun part. So at the bottom of the screen of this website, there's like this long bar down here. It says GIF frames, add frame, copy frame, preview, and preview size. If I left click, add frame, it opens up that bar up a little. And you notice here that my little line just got a little bit lighter. And I have two frames down here. So first frame, click on that one, has my blue line, it's thicker. Next frame, it's lighter. The reason why we see that is because that's called onion skinning. Onion skinning is basically, you know, like onion skin, it's got transparency on top of each other. So in the old days of animation, a lot of people had like giant light boards and they had like multiple papers and they'll like lift through the papers and like try to see through both the, like all these papers to see the changes of their drawings. Here it's kind of like that, but a digital version where different layers, we have a different drawing, but we can see the one before so we can make a change. So I'm just continuing the line a little bit off of the previous layer. And then if I want to add a frame, I click plus add frame at the bottom here. I need to turn my annotation back on. There we go. At the bottom, right over here, add frame. I click on that, adds another frame. And I'm just kind of continuing that line across, going to the bottom, again, add frame. Adding a line there. Again, you don't have to do every single step in here. I just want to hone in on this idea where we're adding different squares of papers, images with adding frame down here to continue the line. And I could see my step right before. Add frame. There you go. And I'll do one more here. Add frame. There we go. Now, if I want to see my animation, there's this little thing down here that says preview. Just put a little square around it. Preview. If I click on that, it shows my animation. There we go. We made an animation. Pretty simple. You just add frames and kind of continue your little line drawing along. I just got a little scribbly going on right here, going back and forth. Now, of course, I can click the X on the upper right to exit out of that. And there we go. I made an animation. If I want to save that animation, I just go up to File on the upper left right here. And I just do download. If I want to download it as a GIF or save as pixel if I want to keep it the same format and re-upload this website to edit it more. Now, when I click on File, Download, I get these options where I can download the frames if I want to move into Photoshop or edit it or another layer program, or I can do GIF download. Just going to click GIF download, and there it is, downloads at the bottom. Left click on it. It's going to load a little bit on my pictures. And there it is. So remember I was talking about it earlier where we're really zoomed in so we can see the little image better. These little pixel art things are really tiny little images. So that makes them feel like pixel art feels really detailed because everyone's making art from really tiny little squares. So there we go. We got the little blue line going back and forth here. Now, does anyone have any questions here before we move on to something cooler than just a line wiggling around? And you can locate chat on Zoom. You can say hello or question. Give people a little bit of moment here. I'm just gonna add more frames in the meantime, continuing this little blue line here. Add frame, blue line, add frame. I'll do a little loop-de-loop right there. Add frame, a loop, and then preview. There we go, the loop there. Okay, so doesn't look like we have any questions. So I'm gonna do something cooler here. Actually, before I move on, I just realized something. If you want to rearrange your animations at the bottom right here, you have to like left click on a frame, it highlights it blue, and then you have to click on this little arrow up like right here to move it to different spots. You see right here now, my little like squiggly circle is like moving different parts of the animation line. So it goes from left to right for how it starts. And now if I click preview, the little loop goes in a lot earlier now. Okay. So now I'm going to do something cooler here. I'm going to go to File. I'm going to do New. I'm going to keep it 32 by 32 here. You can also click on bases if you want some type of outline you want to edit that someone in the community has made. I'm just going to do something from scratch here. 32 is asking me, hey, are you sure you want to redo this? I'm like, yeah. And it clears the drawing here. Yeah. I'm going to make, I could go with an orb. I'll make things easier. No, I'll make a little smiley face here. Now, got my background. On my background layer, I'm just going to make it like a dark green. And then make a new layer, black. I'm just doing my little setup here. Now the circle tool that I'm using right now does not let you do like ellipses, so it's always a perfect circle and you have to like edit it and change it. Now I'm going to the move tool just to move it back over here. And then I'm gonna make it yellow. And then I'm gonna add a face here. Close the ad here. Oh. Nope, that's not the yellow I was using. Eyedropper. Here we go. I'll make it blush. Always have to make it blush. There we go. So I got a little circle here. Now I'm going back to animation at the bottom. And I'm gonna make this bounce. So I'm gonna have it start up high. So I'm gonna check my move tool, move it high. That's why I made layer, so I don't accidentally move the color in the background too. So I'm just gonna, start up high. And then add frame. And then there's onion skinning. And of course, my background changes between the layers. So I'm actually going to delete this layer and we're going to do something here. So if you want to like have the same thing and you're just moving it slightly between each frame, I'm actually going to do a copy frame and then it copies it over. And then I'm going to move it down a little. Now the problem is because I have a color background, it's harder to see the onion skinning. So if I press preview, you can see it goes up and down. There you go. And then I'm going to copy frame, move it down a little bit more. Copy frame all the way down, just making it faster. and then copy frame. Oh, well, there, I can actually could have copied a different frame. So I'm going to delete that one, go back with frame at the bottom here, copy frame, move it over. And then I'm going to take the second one here, copy frame, move it all the way down. Now, if I preview this, I got like, yeah, I have a cool bouncy ball, but we can make it cooler because we can do like a little squish and squash here. So if you don't know anything about animation here, you can go to Control Tab and then do ball animation. There's always like these little lines that people follow when making animations here. Here we go. So we have a ball coming down, and you notice right at, let me draw the circle here for you guys. Right before we touch the ground, it stretches out, and then we get to the bottom, it squishes, and when it comes back out, it stretches again. So that's the part that's gonna be a little bit, not too difficult, but a little bit, challenging to do. So I'm gonna start with the part where we touch the ground right here. And I am gonna take the black right here, and then I'm gonna make it squish. So, oops, am I on the right layer? There we go. Okay, yeah, that was weird. Now I got control back. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the bottom here, choose black, bring this back down, and here we go. I'm also gonna move this down a little bit. But I'm just kind of copying my little pixels here. Bring this out about 2. Here you go. I'll be cleaning this up real soon. There we go. And then I'm just erasing the edges here. Again, I wish this program let me do ellipses, but it does not. Oh, I didn't follow that properly. It goes to here. Bring that up. Oops. Undo by Control Z. And then I'm gonna bring this down smaller size and then fix my circle here. Now with pixel art, you don't want to have a lot of corners a lot of time unless you're making sharp edges. So I'm making sure these little pixels here are even. Now I don't have enough time to actually round this out, so I'm just going to give you guys the idea. This is a wobbly, really fun little smiley face here. Ooh. Take my paint bucket here, filling my edges. Here we go. And then I move it down. So now if I play this animation, it kind of has like a little squish now at the end. So it squishes right there. Now I'm gonna go to that frame right before. Again, I could do this a lot better, but I'm gonna kind of make a weird little oval here. And then eraser. Erase the sides. Kind of like round this out over here. Take my yellow, fill in my little areas. There we go. Again, I could round it out, but fortunately we don't have time. So I'm gonna copy this frame. So if we preview right now, we notice there's only like a little stretch right before we go down here. Right after, so I'm gonna copy this frame and replace the one after the squish. So copy frame, move, and then I'm gonna delete this one here. And I'm gonna preview, There you go. Now it's like a lot more squishier. So that is about the end of the webinar for pixel art animation. It very much is like you're drawing lots of pictures over and over again with slight changes between them. Pixelart.com is free to use. You can download your images. I'm going to show you the actual size here, 1:1. You can change the preview size on the bar here. Preview, so it's that tiny. That's the actual size right there. But yeah, so most of the time with animation, it takes practice, like lots of practice to get good at it. But I encourage you guys just to play with it. And after you made something cool, you can share it with us on our Facebook at Do Space Omaha on Facebook. Share a little cool animation. And we'll just praise and be like, that's awesome. We love a lot of things that people have made in our community. If you guys have any questions, you can type in chat. Otherwise, if you got any questions after this webinar or some other time, you can go to, you can email us at hello@dospace.org, or actually, oops, there's my extra frame there. Or you can just go to dospace.org. And we now have a little chat thing on our website where you can ask direct questions and get like live answers back between the hours of 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. You can click right there and you ask like maybe like, where's this website? And they'll probably message me and saying, hey, Ruth, where did you get this website? And I'll let them know back and you can get a message. So you can click on that and add chat there. Well, thank you for joining us today. I'm not seeing any questions in chat or in QA. So have a good day, and we'll be starting our next webinar at 4 p.m. for digital serve first selling. Thank you very much and have a good day.